more than 30,000 members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with Japan. Moreover, through the Sakura Science Club website and mail magazine, JST supports SSC by regularly providing information on science and technology and on higher studies in Japan, and by helping alumni groups organize events. Through engagement in distinctly unique activities, we believe that these networks of future leaders will continue to expand and innovate. One of the main activities of the Sakura Science Club is to hold alumni meetings. So far, there have been alumni meetings in Japan, China, India, Indonesia about the latest research involving Japan. In addition, information on studying or working in Japan is provided by experienced members and by referred organizations, leading to ongoing exchanges with Japan.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the second day of First Sakura Science Alumni SDGs workshop, Unleashing the Power of Science and Technology, the Road to Carbon Neutrality. I once again will introduce myself. My name is Farhana, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today. We have an exciting agenda planned for today, so sit back, open your camera, and don't forget to rename your names using the format of FG number _ name. Now, let's enjoy the event. For today's highlight, will be an FGD and presentation session day. In this session, everyone will discuss more about one of the two options we have given, which is name 3 areas of potential cooperation between Japan and developing countries to achieve carbon neutrality, or what do you think is the main obstacles to achieving carbon neutrality, and elaborate one innovative solution to address it. Maybe as mentioned by our speakers yesterday, to remind us again a little that carbon neutrality achieved when greenhouse gas emission is equal to the greenhouse gas absorption. And most of these gas are produced by energy sources such as electricity. So we can try to make solutions starting from this point. And then the main drawbacks with renewables are that there are lack of availability and flexibility. And then other than that, policies and cost play a key role to attain carbon neutrality. So this material that has been given yesterday can be
Waktu saya kerja di apartemen, gitu juga kalanya. Kayak kurang bersih.
Hello, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, and I will continue again that for yesterday material that has been given by the speakers can be, one of the key points for discussions today. And we are looking forward to valuable discussions today and hearing everyone's innovative solution through the presentation process. And following that, our first agenda is the focus group discussions. And here we have 6 groups that will be divided in each small breakout rooms that I will announce later on. And next, there will be a presentations for all groups with a maximum of 8 minutes. Please note that our time is limited, so be sure to make it simple and short. Then, followed by a feedback session from our speakers, Mr. Rahul Maraju, but unfortunately, Mr. Yohei Gyu informed us that he is not able to join for today's session. And for the last sessions, there will be a closing statement from our president of SAAI. And now, Ms. Amiratul, please help me to share the group names. And you can also check this group divisions on our Instagram page at SAAI_EDN. We have posted it there. Let me read. For the first group, the LO will be Chatra Butuinardi, and the team members will be Moyet, Ferdita, Ratih, Marjorie, Panggulu, William, Nestor, Mamani, Dr. Metus, and Benedictus. For the second groups, the LO will be Yudhistira Adinugraha, with the group members Hana, Kishwar, Ramesh, Bui, Prisha, Nur, Oon, Nanda, Rizal, and I'm sorry for the okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Amarato, I cannot see clearly for the 10 members. Maybe you can scroll it down. Okay, and for the last one is Yukdip. Next. Okay, for the third group, the LO will be Kafa Aishani, and the members are Widyaningrum, Tilina Kumari, Kaushik, Akmal, Bishwas, Justin, Aditi, Shewak, Yahushta, and Shreyasi. Next. For the fourth group, the LO will be Audia Pramata, with the group members Gilang, Alex, Abhishek, Somasu Sundaram, Ahmad, Muhammad, Kelly, Muyen, Daisheli, and Somasundaram. Next. And then for the fifth group, the LO will be M. Nabil Sakti, with the group members Nadini, Clint, Andreas, Udaramba, Waranan, Kaishay, Romel, Afifatul, Sanjida, and Tran. For the sixth group, the last group, the LO will be Afifah Malfiroh, with the group members Lydia, Farida, Katerina, Arafin, Nishas, Sabir, Misha, Dr. Rajikumar, Brian, and Maha. Okay, so those are the group divisions. And with that group, we will do the group discussions. And now we will move on to the first agenda, which is allocating you to the breakout room. For the first group, can join the first breakout room. The second group can join the second breakout room, and so on. The discussions will last until 10:50 a.m. for about an hour. And I would like to remind everyone to be active and have fun with your group. And now, may I ask the IT team to help me divide the breakout room? Mr. Irham, can you help me? Okay, so now we can see that the breakout room has opened. Okay, so all of the members can join the breakout room. See you later. Okay, so now we will be starting the FGD sessions in the breakout room. So for all the members, you can join the breakout rooms. Okay, if you have any problems in joining, please just inform us so we can help you. For Mr. Abhishek, can you please rename?
Ini kita bakal diem-dieman sampai 1 jam ke depan kayaknya, Kak. Mungkin bisa di-share screen, Kak Ani, sambil nunggu.
Youths who came to Japan through the Sakura Science Exchange Program, organized by the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST, are all certified as members of the Sakura Science Club, SSC for short. As of 2022, there are more than 30,000 members. SSC activities are conducted voluntarily and autonomously by its members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with Japan. Moreover, through the Sakura Science Club website and mail magazine, JST supports SSC by regularly providing information on science and technology and on higher studies in Japan, and by helping alumni groups organize events. Through engagement in distinctly unique activities, we believe that these networks of future leaders will continue to expand and innovate. One of the main activities of the Sakura Science Club is to hold alumni meetings. So far, there have been alumni meetings in Japan, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand. At these reunions, alumni members or researchers with ties to Japan and their home countries or regions are invited as speakers. Alumni members can rekindle friendship and can also learn about the latest research involving Japan. In addition, information on studying or working in Japan is provided by experienced members and by referred organizations, leading to ongoing exchanges with Japan. Because face-to-face meetings were no longer possible due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a new form of alumni exchange emerged: online reunions. In some countries and regions, SSC members have volunteered as coordinators to launch local alumni associations. This group of coordinators will not only co-host alumni events with JST, but will also conduct unique exchange activities, contests, or competitions. The Side Talk series by Sakura Alumni Association Indonesia and the Job Hunting Seminar by SSC Japan are great examples of this. These original events help encourage exchange among members.
Konnichiwa and salam sejahtera. This is Lai Hang Wei, the head coordinator of Sakura Science Club Japan. I'm currently working as a senior scientist in Kochi University, researching on photodynamic therapy in cancer. Started in the year 2014, Sakura Science Club stays committed to the goal of pursuing consistent growth and development in the science and technology, domestically and globally, by serving as a platform that encourages continuous scientific interactions among talented professionals from various fields between Japan and the world in order to contribute to innovative research. We aim to foster further exchange of scientific ideas through our consistent efforts in collaboration with industry, academia, and government.
SSC members across the world can grow together to make a better world.
Sakura Science Plan, we are one.
Youths who came to Japan through the Sakura Science Exchange Program organized by the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST, are all certified as members of the Sakura Science Club, SSC for short. As of 2022, there are more than 30,000 members. SSC activities are conducted voluntarily and autonomously by its members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with Japan. Moreover, through the Sakura Science Club website and mail magazine, JST supports SSC by regularly providing information on science and technology and on higher studies in Japan, and by helping alumni groups organize events. Through engagement in distinctly unique activities, we believe that these networks of future leaders will continue to expand and innovate. One of the main activities of the Sakura Science Club is to hold alumni meetings. So far, there have been alumni meetings in Japan, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand. At these reunions, alumni members or researchers with ties to Japan and their home countries or regions are invited as speakers. Alumni members can rekindle friendship and can also learn about the latest research involving Japan. In addition, information on studying or working in Japan is provided by experienced members and by referred organizations, leading to ongoing exchanges with Japan. Because face-to-face meetings were no longer possible due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a new form of alumni exchange emerged: online reunions. In some countries and regions, SSC members have volunteered as coordinators to launch local alumni associations. This group of coordinators will not only co-host alumni events with JST, but will also conduct unique exchange activities, contests, or competitions. The Side Talks series by Sakura Alumni Association Indonesia and the Job Hunting Seminar by SSC Japan are great examples of this. These original events help encourage exchange among members.
Konnichiwa and salam sejahtera. This is Laihan Wei, the head coordinator of Sakura Science Club Japan. I'm currently working as a senior scientist in Kochi University, researching on photodynamic therapy in cancer. Started in the year 2014, Sakura Science Club stays committed to the goal of pursuing consistent growth and development in the science and technology, domestically and globally, by serving as a platform that encourages continuous scientific interactions among talented professionals from various fields between Japan and the world in order to contribute to innovative research. We aim to foster further exchange of scientific ideas through our consistent efforts in collaboration with industry, academia, and government.
SSC members across the world can grow together to make a better world.
Sakura Science Plan. We are one.
Youths who came to Japan through the Sakura Science Exchange Program organized by the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST, are all certified as members of the Sakura Science Club, SSC for short. As of 2022, there are more than 30,000 members. SSC activities are conducted voluntarily and autonomously by its members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with Japan. Moreover, through the Sakura Science Club website and mail magazine, JST supports SSC by regularly providing information on science and technology and on higher studies in Japan, and by helping alumni groups organize events. Through engagement in distinctly unique activities, we believe that these networks of future leaders will continue to expand and innovate. One of the main activities of the Sakura Science Club is to hold alumni meetings. So far, there have been alumni meetings in Japan, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand. At these reunions, alumni members or researchers with ties to Japan and their home countries or regions are invited as speakers. Alumni members can rekindle friendship and can also learn about the latest research involving Japan. In addition, information on studying or working in Japan is provided by experienced members and by referred organizations, leading to ongoing exchanges with Japan. Because face-to-face meetings were no longer possible due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a new form of alumni exchange emerged: online reunions. In some countries and regions, SSC members have volunteered as coordinators to launch local alumni associations. This group of coordinators will not only co-host alumni events with JST, but will also conduct unique exchange activities, contests, or competitions. The Side Talk series by Sakura Alumni Association Indonesia and the Job Hunting Seminar by SSC Japan are great examples of this. These original events help encourage exchange among members.
Konnichiwa and salam sejahtera. This is Lai Han Wei, the head coordinator of Sakura Science Club Japan. I'm currently working as a senior scientist in Kochi University, researching on photodynamic therapy in cancer. Started in the year 2014, Sakura Science Club stays committed to the goal of pursuing consistent growth and development in the science and technology, domestically and globally, by serving as a platform that encourages continuous scientific interactions among talented professionals from various fields between Japan and the world in order to contribute to innovative research. We aim to foster further exchange of scientific ideas through our consistent efforts in collaboration with industry, academia, and government.
SSC members across the world can grow together to make a better world.
Sakura Science Plan. We are one.
Youths who came to Japan through the Sakura Science Exchange Program organized by the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST, are all certified as members of the Sakura Science Club, SSC for short. As of 2022, there are more than 30,000 members. SSC activities are conducted voluntarily and autonomously by its members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with Japan. Moreover, through the Sakura Science Club website and mail magazine, JST supports SSC by regularly providing information on science and technology and on higher studies in Japan, and by helping alumni groups organize events. Through engagement in distinctly unique activities, we believe that these networks of future leaders will continue to expand and innovate. One of the main activities of the Sakura Science Club is to hold alumni meetings. So far, there have been alumni meetings in Japan, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand. At these reunions, alumni members or researchers with ties to Japan and their home countries or regions are invited as speakers. Alumni members can rekindle friendship and can also learn about the latest research involving Japan. In addition, information on studying or working in Japan is provided by experienced members and by referred organizations, leading to ongoing exchanges with Japan. Because face-to-face meetings were no longer possible due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a new form of alumni exchange emerged: online reunions. In some countries and regions, SSC members have volunteered as coordinators to launch local alumni associations. This group of coordinators will not only co-host alumni events with JST, but will also conduct unique exchange activities, contests, or competitions. The Side Talk series by Sakura Alumni Association Indonesia and the Job Hunting Seminar by SSC Japan are great examples of this. These original events help encourage exchange among members.
Konnichiwa and salam sejahtera. This is Lai Han Wei, the head coordinator of Sakura Science Club Japan. I'm currently working as a senior scientist in Kochi University, researching on photodynamic therapy in cancer. Started in the year 2014, Sakura Science Club stays committed to the goal of pursuing consistent growth and development in the science and technology, domestically and globally, by serving as a platform that encourages continuous scientific interactions among talented professionals from various fields between Japan and the world in order to contribute to innovative research. We aim to foster further exchange of scientific ideas through our consistent efforts in collaboration with industry, academia, and government.
SSC members across the world can grow together to make a better world.
Sakura Science Plan. We are one.
Youths who came to Japan through the Sakura Science Exchange Program organized by the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST, are all certified as members of the Sakura Science Club, SSC for short. As of 2022, there are more than 30,000 members. SSC activities are conducted voluntarily and autonomously by its members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with Japan. Moreover, through the Sakura Science Club website and mail magazine, JST supports SSC by regularly providing information on science and technology and on higher studies in Japan, and by helping alumni groups organize events. Through engagement in distinctly unique activities, we believe that these networks of future leaders will continue to expand and innovate. One of the main activities of the Sakura Science Club is to hold alumni meetings. So far, there have been alumni meetings in Japan, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Singapore, and Thailand. At these reunions, alumni members or researchers with ties to Japan and their home countries or regions are invited as speakers. Alumni members can rekindle friendship and can also learn about the latest research involving Japan. In addition, information on studying or working in Japan is provided by experienced members and by referred organizations, leading to ongoing exchanges with Japan. Because face-to-face meetings were no longer possible due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a new form of alumni exchange emerged: online reunions. In some countries and regions, SSC members have volunteered as coordinators to launch local alumni associations. This group of coordinators will not only co-host alumni events with JST, but will also conduct unique exchange activities, contests, or competitions. The Side Talk series by Sakura Alumni Association Indonesia and the Job Hunting Seminar by SSC Japan are great examples of this. These original events help encourage exchange among members.
Konnichiwa and salam sejahtera. This is Lai Wei, the head coordinator of Sakura Science Club Japan. I'm currently working as a senior scientist in Kochi University, researching on photodynamic therapy in cancer. Started in the year 2014, Sakura Science Club stays committed to the goal of pursuing consistent growth and development in the science and technology, domestically and globally, by serving as a platform that encourages continuous scientific interactions among talented professionals from various fields between Japan and the world in order to contribute to innovative research. We aim to foster further exchange of scientific ideas through our consistent efforts in collaboration.
Halo Kak Livi,
Oh, Kak,
udah kelihatan belum ya?
aman, aman.
Ini gini, tapi kayak nggak ada apa-apanya gitu loh. Terus kayak gini, ada tulisannya gini.
File ada di eh Kak Baits, kira-kira Kakak familiar gak ya ini kenapa?
Terus ini akses ditolak. Ini punya LOUDs juga kayak gini. File ada di tong sampah pemiliknya.
Bisa buka layar utama Jamboard gitu gak, Kak?
Oke, coba ya. Nah, kalau di layar utama Jamboard cuman ada ini doang, yang LO Audia doang. Yang ini tadi aku coba-coba gitu salin. Ini kan ada ya buat salinan sama buka layar utama. Aku klik yang buka salinan, keluarnya gini, ini salinan dari SDGs Room 1.
Oke.
Jadi cuman apa room 4 doang, yang LO Audia doang, yang ini apa namanya tersedia. Nih.
Itu kelompok-kelompok mana aja ya, Kak?
Apa?
Yang belum bisa di itu. Oh, ini
Eh,
udah semua kelompok, Pak?
ini udah aku buka semua. Semua nggak bisa kecuali kelompok 4.
Kelompok 1 juga nggak bisa ya, Kak?
Iya, nggak bisa. Tuh, kayak gini. Yang bisa cuman kelompok 4 aja.
Kayak aku udah notify di grup. Kalau misalnya Kak Ami mau cepet bisa visit ke masing-masing breakout room, habis itu direct message LO-nya Kak kalau mau. Tapi di grup udah ada sih. Aku.
Oke. Abis ini aku coba ke masing-masing breakout room ya.
Oke, Kak.
Aku stop share dulu.
Thank you, Kak.
Well, I see now that everyone has already joined the main room again. Do you have fun with your respective groups? I hope so. And now, before we start the presentation sessions, maybe are there anyone willing to share your experiences during the whole discussion? Maybe 2 people can share their experiences. Like you can share during the whole process of the discussions, what you discussed with your group teams. Are there any difficulties that you're facing? Okay, so Mr. Brian.
Yes, well, I was in group 6. I think we were approximately like 4 members of this group in our discussion session. And it was quite interesting, and I really enjoyed the experience because I could learn from experiences from other countries, especially in this topic related to energy. And it was interesting because at some points during the discussions, some of us were mentioning our experiences that we faced in our home countries, or experiences that we have saw in another countries in terms of, for example, policies, difficulties, obstacles that we were having. So that was quite interesting, and that helps to have a better conversation and a more interesting discussion.
So there's actually a lot of thoughts exchanges between countries, how's the conditions, and exchange solutions like that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed that because at some moment during the discussion, we realized that some of the obstacles we had in some countries were common to another country, and those countries were in different continents, for example. And so they were very far, but the obstacles were very similar. And I think that's interesting also.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brian, for your sharing. Hopefully that these discussions can have, there's a lot of exchange, thoughts of exchange can be done in these discussions, and that's so great. Okay, now, now we'll proceed to the next agenda. Thank you, Mr. Rahul, once again. Now we will proceed to the presentation session. But before we proceed, I'm reminding to you all again that the group presentations will only last for 8 minutes. So please utilize the time wisely. And the presentations will start from the first group. And then at the end of the sessions, there will be a feedback from our speakers, Mr. Rahul, and Mr. Aoki from GST will also join us and give us a feedback. So first, maybe from Group 1 representative can give a simple presentation. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 1. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yes, according to our leader of Group 1, I would like to give the first presentation, and then my friend will follow after. So we in Group 1 we are agree that this carbon neutrality issue is so related with the climate change issue. I mean that is climate neutrality refers to the idea of achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by balancing those emissions so they are equal or less than the emissions that get removed through the planet's natural absorptions. In basic terms, it means that we reduce our emissions through the climate action to achieve this carbon healthy carbon neutrality. The problem is that the raising of the CO2 emissions, one of them is caused by the increasing of the climate change. For example, the El Nino state that causes the forest fires increases, and it really reduces our quality of breathing. I mean, not just our health, but also economic losses. And other than climate change, also impact the severe weather. Severe weather extremes in many countries. This includes rising sea levels, extinction of species, more wildfires, and everything. So how do we know this is a problem? Is when the modern economy is still highly dependent on fossil fuels, then it is hard for us to achieve this carbon neutrality. And other than is the climate events, is the weather phenomena. And also until now, there has not been found an appropriate solution to reduce to neutralize emission from carbon, but we can make actions. How will we know when we've solved the problem is when the emissions is zero. We reach the stabilization of global temperatures. We have positive impacts on climate change and sustainable infrastructures. Maybe next slides. Okay. And the data proof of the problem is we can see is the atmospheric CO2 concentration over time is rising. And why is it important to solve? Because it's for our survival. Make a good quality of our food security, the economic stability, saving our future lives, and it's not just for human, but also for nature, like the sea lives also, and the forest, and its animals, and here the forest habitat and everything. So can we move to the next slides, please? Okay, so the solutions. Maybe my friends would like to continue the explanations from Group 1.
Yeah, I would like to give a brief review of what we discussed about the solution. So basically, we discussed that the governments and the personal action are important, but overall, we believe that it's that the CO2 is increasing, and at the same time, the economy is growing. So what we believe is that we need to break this relationship. We need to break this linear relationship. So in order to do that, we think that a circular economy, a transition to a circular economy would be a solution. But still, circular economy has many challenges. And also we believe that for example, if we go to a detailed explanation, using a circular economy could lead to not using fertilizers, or to try to minimize to the most the use of fossil fuels. And how do we know that this is a good solution? Well, it's hard to know because we didn't even apply the circular economy, and many economies are challenging this. But we believe that many countries, for example, the G7 countries, they are willing to move towards the circular economy. Next slide. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So a data proof for this is basically that one. What is a circular economy? Basically, we have reform, reduce, reuse, recycle. Maybe you heard them like the 3 R's. So maybe we believe that if we make this transit successfully before reaching tipping points like the collapse of the Amazon rainforest, if we do that, then I think we have a good chance of achieving the carbon neutrality. And the obstacle, from our point of view, the main obstacle of achieving this circular economy, especially in the CO2, we believe that there is a sunk fall fallacy in the fossil fuel companies. And by sunk fall fallacy, I mean that the fossil fuel companies, they believe that because they have already invested a lot of money and a lot of research, they did a lot of research to make, for example, like the good engines that work, they depend on fossil fuels. So if we change to a circular economy, it would mean to use, for example, hydrogen or ammonia. But they think that it would be a waste, right? If we transit to hydrogen or renewables, because the fossil fuel companies, they already made a lot of investment for that. So that's what we meant by sunk fall fallacy in the fossil fuel companies' policies. Now, next slide. So maybe my friends can explain, or my fellowships can explain, my fellows.
Okay, for the next one is about our conclusion is we have some notes here. Like for the first, we are agree about the partnership among governments, so we can make regulation for raising personal awareness and action. Maybe we can share our knowledge also on social media is really faster than even though we try to sharing knowledge informal and formal also. So the main obstacle to achieving carbon neutrality is the heavy dependence on fossil fuels for the energy production and transportations. Yeah, we can move the next one. It's blank, yeah. But the time is still okay, right? Yeah, for the last time maybe about the capacity developments, yeah, informal or formal ways. Yeah, like for example, like training, education, webinar, social media, and the others ways to make an impact for in these words. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. That's all from the group ones.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ratih, Mr. Eduardo, and Mr. William for the presentations. And also thank you for the whole group one for the great, amazing idea. Yeah, there's a lot of ideas that it's told by group one, and here I conclude that group one tell us that gas emissions give a lot of impact to our world, and these gas emissions causes, one of the causes is from fossil fuels, and there are a lot of amazing solutions that has been proposed, such as like natural products like plants, rainforests, and stuffs. And then we're going to discuss this a little more in feedback session with Mr. Rahul and Mr. Aoki. So now, thank you again for group one for the presentations. Now we will proceed to the second group. Is the second group ready? Okay, for the second group, the time is yours.
In progress.
Okay, I think I should be starting the presentation first. So for our group, we have different discussions and different solutions that we can come up with. So firstly, what are the problems? Some problems that we've discussed on are pretty much there's common things that we've heard before, which are like transportations as well as transportations, thus the use of very high number of individual vehicles or private vehicles in different countries. Other than that, it's also the agriculture aspect as well, in which that there are many countries that have very high or major diet based on meat as well. And then we also talk about the adoption of electric vehicles as well, in which that there are some skepticality that came from different individuals due to the constraint of the price as well as lack of environmental awareness and the argument that EVs are not as environmentally friendly as we think it is due to its battery production. Other than that, the use of air conditioner also contributes highly with greenhouse gases. So moving on, how do we know that these are actually a problems? We can see that there are very high level number of traffic congestions in some countries. So it is proven, and we can see it for ourselves, that the use of individual vehicles are very much still in use. And this can also be a reason from lack of proper public transports that cause individuals to want to settle for individual or private vehicles compared to public transports. Moving on, there are also, let me see. Okay, regarding the agriculture and farming, there are high number or increased number of production of carbon dioxide, as there are the increase of animal farming in these countries. And another fact that we need to know is that cows, pigs, and other farm livestock in the Europe actually contributes to more greenhouse gases compared to the transportations that they use. So this is actually one of the major problems as well. So how do we know that we are able to solve this? How do we know when we have solved this problem? It's through proper monitoring as well as having sustainable work plan and leveraging different scientific advancements and technological breakthroughs, and thus different research that is being done for different technologies that can curb carbon dioxide emissions. Other than that, it's also proven data that shows a decrease in carbon dioxide emissions, as there is a decrease in animal farming through research as well. Lastly, it's to set up the target and compare every country's target or roadmap. So there is a proper timeline, and every country actually has a target to achieve these to achieve the set target of each country for the carbon dioxide removal and emission as well. Next. Okay, so some of the proof of the problem is that one is that based on EV study in Indonesia, it's found that even having a positive attitude towards green products will not generate enough intention to adapt or purchase EV cars. And for the farming in the UK is basically responsible for 10% of their greenhouse gases just through farming itself, which is quite a huge number. Other than that, yeah, okay, now why is it important for us to solve this is because we need to because as we know, the EU's meat and dairy production increased by 9.5% between 2007 and 2018. So in every year it increases by 6%, which is similar to 39 tons, which is also equivalent to 8.4 million new cars. So that's a very huge number. It's all why other than that, it's also an effort to realize that global framework to avoid dangerous climate changes as well. Investing in research and development of cutting edge technologies to address carbon emissions across various sectors, including transportation. Next. Okay, so what are the solutions? The three different solutions are emphasizing an adoption of different advancement of renewable energy, such as solar, wind, hydro, geothermal power, to replace fossil fuels for electricity generation, to create a stronger perception of benefits, so to familiarize the citizens with products' contribution to the environment as well, will create a sense of moral obligation. Lastly, to set a quote limit for animal farming or add on a higher tax of meat that produces higher emissions. So how do we know this is a good solution? It's probably through data that will show the numbers that there is a decrease in carbon dioxide by implementing all these different solutions. So everyone needs to be on board and understand that the goal of this goal. So they're willing to switch or use different products for the betterment of the future. Next. Okay, I think these are quite similar. Data solution validation. We utilize utilizing carbon capture technologies to capture carbon dioxide emissions from industrial processes and power plants, followed by safe storage underground, preventing relevant sectors, I think, as well as environmental concern positively influences attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control towards the intention to adapt or purchase green products. So what are the obstacle of the solution? Mainly the culture, the people, different belief and conventional way from our people, the different parts of the world that have different ideas, and probably human as well. Sorry, money, yeah. Next. So now we have reached the conclusion of my group. So the problem of carbon neutrality basically involves different sectors and requires comprehensive efforts to reduce the carbon emissions and transitions to have more sustainable practices. So some of the ways to curb these that we have come up with is first, leveraging scientific advancements and technological breakthroughs. So the world can transition to a sustainable carbon neutral future, significantly reducing the threat of global warming and its associated consequences. Next is to set quote limits to animal farming or add higher tax on meat that produces higher emission of carbon dioxide. Lastly, to educate and raise awareness. So about the increase of climate change and its consequences, as well as the action that the individuals and communities can make to mitigate this effect as well. So and also supporting sustainable practices. So that's more of an individual value, individual value kind of thing. So we also must inquire the base system to implement technology to reduce the greenhouse gases, keep tracks, and have proper research being done by different countries to ensure that the numbers are being noted down. So we know the progress that we did by changing certain ways. So that is all from our group. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nuraida, for the presentations, so comprehensive. Thank you so much, Group 2, for the breakdown. We can see that Group 2 has highlighted transportations, farming, and also raising awareness as the region that they are focusing for the solutions of these issues. Next, we will invite Group 3 to tell about their ideas that they have been discussing. Okay, Group 3, are you ready?
Okay, so thank you for the time, Mr. Farhana. So I'm Akmal. I will try to representing the Group 3. So we have made of the problem definition and also the proof and also the solution. So first we go to the first slide. Is we have problem definition. So we have discussed about what is the real problem that happened here. We have 9 points here. Perhaps I can summarize it into 3 points. So the point is that we have the lack of availability and flexibility of renewable, and also we it is hard for us to transition from the current habits into the new habits that which is low carbon, has low carbon emission, and also we have demand supply balance and also a lack of international cooperation. Those are the problems that we saw here. And also, how do we know that this is a problem? So now it is not ideal right now because we need policy supports to encourage low carbon technologies. And also we have the problem of market size, and also we have about the impact of climate change, and also the habits again. People keeps on utilizing non-renewable sources of energy. So and then how will we know when we've solved the problem? So yeah, the goal is to have net zero. We have to have the carbon emission is equal to the amount of carbon removed from the environment. And also we discuss when we solve the problem, we utilize the decarbonized energy storage system are adopted, and also we don't need policy supports, and also we have market sharing, and also less death from indoor air pollution. Okay, next please. So yeah, next is problem validation. We have the several data proof of the problems. So the first one here, I'm sorry. So the left side here, we have the data proof of the problems regarding to the market expansion. So yeah, we need to expand markets to increase the the investment, and also the death from indoor air pollution. So we have this problem for data proof of the problem, and why is it important to solve? So yeah, so it improves the overall well-being of the people, and long-term sustainability, ensuring food and water security, preservation of humanity, and also without all of those changes, the carbon is still there. So okay, please next. Okay, so we have the solution definition here, and this is the solution. We have two approach from the policy, and also from raising the awareness. So we go from the policy, from the government, from the companies, and also raising awareness for the people. And yeah, so how do we know this is a good solution? So from our solution, we have connectivity of solution, regulatory, and mitigation. And also we need to follow up studies on the impact of policies towards carbon neutrality will provide evidence on their effect. So there's like yeah, we think that for the solution um yeah we have from approach from two sides, from the government by the policy and law enforcement, and raising awareness for the change of the habits. Yeah, and also we have a solution for mitigation for here. So I mean that for the mitigation is we need to increase the international cooperation so that we can hinder the chance of the race to bottom idea that we got presented yesterday. Okay, next please. Okay, so data proof of the solution. So the first one is the solution is regulatory, it's about policy, and every instance must comply to others, and yeah, must comply to each country regulation. And also the market sharing can solve the problem of demands. So we can see that in Turkey we have the market sharing to the other countries beside the Turkey. And also for the spectacle of the solution, of course, for any solution, any movement, we will have obstacles. So we have political and policy challenges, and financial barriers, technological limitation, social obstacles and behavior, land use and resource allocation, regulatory and policy uncertainty. So yeah, these are pretty explanatory that yeah, these changes will will happen almost exactly happen for the solution that we propose, but I believe we can do it. Okay, next slide, please. So this is the conclusion of our discussion. So the first one, the problem conclusion, we talk about the related to economics, the change of our current habits, what is going now, what is going on now, the use of fossil fuels, the use of high emitting appliances, and also we have the lack of flexibility of the renewable and international lack of flexibility of the renewable energy, and also the last one, international cooperation, we are lacking on that. And the solution of that is we need to make investment policies and raising public awareness, tighten cooperation in every country. So it will make a new general practice to have the decarbonization technology, like perhaps for carbon capture. We need to have that, but the policies must be gradual. So we don't expect the policy to hit something like that, but we need to make it gradual so people can adapt. And also the suggestion, we need to make a follow-up studies on any field, everything of interest related to carbon neutrality. So that's it. Perhaps others can add for that. Mrs. Tilina?
Yeah, actually, after listening to our presentation, I think we all agree that top-down and bottom-up approaches, that means within the country and among the countries, are very much important in essence to achieve carbon neutrality. And in that regard, we have global agreements and conventions and different kinds of things, but enacting them through internal policies and international cooperation with the improvement of technologies and also economic cooperation would be much important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Group 3, for the presentation. Thank you, Mr. Akmal, Ms. Tilina, who has represented Group 3. I see that there's a lot of ideas being suggested by Group 3s, and they are focusing on suggesting raising awareness, investment of policies, and also tighten cooperation on every country, like what Indonesia has been doing with Japan these days, maybe like that, yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, Group 3, for the ideas. Next, we will continue the presentations to Group 4.
Okay, can I start?
Yes.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Dishali from Indonesia. So I will present first about our discussion from Group 4, and my friend will follow after me. So we are focusing on an obstacle to achieve carbon neutrality. Here, we agree to highlighting fossil fuel dependency as the main obstacle for achieving carbon neutrality. The fossil fuel dependence is in line with energy demand due to rapid population growth in developing countries. That also means there will be too many carbon produced nowadays, especially from fossil fuels consumption, so that more greenhouse gases are emitted than it is absorbed. These fossil fuels are as primary source of energy for centuries due to their abundance. And now, as low carbon source of energy and nuclear or renewables become readily available, so we think that it has become readily available, the world needs to rapidly transition away from the fossil fuel dependence. So how do we know this is a problem? Because we need the fossil fuel in daily basis. For example, for energy generation, power plant produce electricity, transportation, and industrial process, the fossil fuels can cause environmental problems such as air pollution. For example, The fossil fuel will produce abundant greenhouse gas emission, which release carbon dioxide. When burned, the fossil fuels will be the largest driver. The fossil fuel will produce the carbon dioxide, which is the largest driver of global climate change. There are also a major contributor for the local air pollution and also contribute to premature deaths each year, which means it causes health issues and related to emission. So how will we know when we've solved the problem? The first, when the emission of greenhouse gases like CO2 decrease or equal, and when we have an alternative source of energy. So can you move to the next slide? Okay, the data proof of the fossil fuel dependency is that almost 78% of the energy consumption are from fossil fuels, and only 20% of them are from renewable sources such as nuclear power. In other hand, the carbon dioxide emission worldwide share between 40% from the electricity, 25% from the transportation, and 90% from industry. And they are mostly using fossil fuel for energy generation. And why is it important to solve? Because if we solve the fossil fuel dependency, that it means we can help the climate change mitigation. So the emission from the fossil fuels are primary driver of climate change, which lead to global warming. So reducing fossil fuel dependency is essential to mitigate this. By reducing the fossil fuel consumption, we also can reduce the air pollution because the fossil fuel can produce a pollutant which contribute to air pollution and health issues like respiratory problem. And the other thing is when we reduce the fossil fuel consumption, which are unrenewable source, we can more contributing to biodiversity sustainable. And the next slide, please. So this will be presented by Nguyen.
So hello everyone. Okay, yeah. Hello everyone. My name. You can call me Nguyen. So now I'm present about the solution definition. So when reducing carbon production is require multi-phase approach and concerted efforts at various levels, including individuals, business, governments, and international cooperation. So some solution to mitigate the carbon production, first and foremost, is transition to renewable source and technology, or it can call it a renewable energy. So by increasing the use of renewable energy source, such as solar energy, wind energy, or hydroelectric energy and geothermal power, so it can significantly reduce carbon emissions. Government and businessmen can invest in renewable energy infrastructures and incentivize the adoption of cleaner energy technology. And the second thing that we can do is we can use the energy efficiency. So when we improve energy efficiency across sectors like buildings or transportation and industry, can reduce energy consumption and the need for fossil fuel consumption. So this can be achieved through measures such as better insulation, efficient appliance, and energy management system. and also as a transportation alternative. And for more, we also have a we also can have a better sustainable transportation, encouraging the use of a sustainable transportation option like electric vehicles or public transportation. Biking and walking can reduce the carbon emission from the transportation sector, which is a significant contributor to carbon production. And for the third thing that I want to say about this is the forest conservation and reforestation. So by protecting existing forests from deforestation and implementing reforestation initiatives, so it can have sequester carbon dioxide through the photosynthesis, and forests act as natural carbon sinks, absorbing and storing the carbon like trees, right? And it's play a crucial role in mitigating the climate change. And so, how do we know that is a is the best solution, is a good solution? So I think the solution mentioned above, our group might consider effective and beneficial of several reasons. First is about the mitigating climate change. The second is about it doesn't emit the greenhouse gas. It can reduce the green gas, and both that is about the environmental benefit and health and well-being. Can you move to the next slide? And as you see that about the pie chart is about the information is data proof for the solution. So is unlocking the potential of reducing fossil fuel, and it is the consumption in the household settled by enable technology and behavior. And it's so a renewable energy source cut carbon emission is take about 25%, and the potential is about 20%. And now I will talk about the obstacle of the solution. So there can be several obstacle when implementing a solution. And the first one is it's not as profitable as fossil fuel yet. So as you know that the fossil fuel is a limited resource. So when you implementing a solution, it may plan the significant resource such as manpower or time or finance. So limited resource can be hindered the successful implementation and scalability of the solution, and carefully planning the prioritization and need to overcome this obstacle. And the second I want to talk about is about the existing policy framework. So, okay, so move to I will talk about the conclusion. So our
okay. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
actually, we already have time, but it's okay. You can finish the.
Okay, so our group conclusion is addressing the challenge of carbon neutrality requires a global, so collaborative effort not only involve the governments, but also is about individuals. So by combining the technology, innovation, population reform, the science, and the public engagement, so that we can overcome the obstacle and work individuals and towards as a sustainable and carbon neutral future. So it's my final present. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nguyen, and also Ms. Dishali for the presentations. Thank you, Group 4, that has arranged all of these ideas. Yeah, we can see that Group 4 focuses on fossil fuels dependency as their problem. And now, because we're running out of time, we will just proceed to the next group, Group 5.
Hello, everyone. So this is me, Sanjida from Bangladesh, and I will present from in behalf of Group 5 what we have discussed about our topic 1. So if we come to what is the problem, so the problem is we see the climate impact. The climate is changing so rapidly, and then we can see like there are so insufficient energy and resources as from like developing countries and least developed countries like Bangladesh. We face so much of load shedding this year, so there are and we see equation like air quality is getting higher, air quality index is getting higher, and then human life is threatened day by day, like for due to the climate change and resource depletion, and also low awareness of their choices impact on environment and reduce quality of life, for example, health risks and others comfort. So how will we know when we have solved the problem? So if you look into the air quality index data, then we can, if the air quality index data is low, we can easily say that the carbon emission in the atmosphere is reduced, and also the air quality has improved. And also we can like compare the previous data, and after improvement, we can see like there is improvement in air quality, also in the environment. And also we can check the regular reporting to the responsible organizations such as WHO and others UNDP organization who implement the sustainable development goals. So can you go to the next slide, please? So the problem validation. So there are data proof of the problem. We can, as I already mentioned, the high quality index, if it is high, then we can say it is the air quality has a low air, it has high air pollution, and then global temperature is increasing rapidly. And as we noticed, like this year, the recorded highest recorded temperature we have seen in everywhere, not even in developing countries, also in the developed countries, in everywhere. And also data about regeneration and residuals of natural resources. And also the life expectancy is shortened. If you see the chart, there is a like the highest rate is the air pollution. Because of that, the life expectancy is shortened. And why is it important to solve problem? So to solve the problem, it is to reduce the risk on our life and our health, and also like to meet the today's demand, for example, the demand of electricity, and to improve the quality of the environment, which positively impact human life and ensure sustainability of the resources. The next slide, please. And the solution definition. What is the solution? So the solution is the problem we are facing right now, how we can solve it, or how we can reduce it. So we can reduce it by implementation of sustainable cities, and like sustainable, like introducing sustainable technology and technology innovation, and increase people awareness, for example, like through the soft media, like all like animated videos we can make and spread into our society and in the like social medias. And also improve carbon neutrality friendly like a public transportation, for example, using electric powered buses and tuk-tuks, and also cycles as well. And also we can increase knowledge on technology and strategy. And we can also do carbon accounting to see how much carbon we have absorbed or we have available in the country's perspective. Also incentives on green solution. And there is another last and most important option is circular economy, how you can reuse or recycle our materials that we have available in the developing countries. As also we have so many, like it is overpopulated, most of the developing countries are. And how do we know this is a good solution? And this is, we can see the evidence from scientific articles or policies from other countries. So if we look into other countries who have the same population or same demographic characteristic, we can take lesson from that, and we can say that okay, this is a good solution, and also improve the problem can be applied in practice. So we can encourage individual to take environmental friendly action. So if we tell people and raise awareness between the young generation, also in the high school student, we can encourage them to take environmental friendly actions. Can we give to the next slide? And the solution of validation. So data proof of the solution. So we can take lesson from the developed country. For example, Bhutan, they have reached the carbon neutrality, and also they store 60% of their forest, and they also try to make a sustainable innovation, and also they are more focused on hydropower. Also, if we look into the other countries, like for example, Denmark and Sweden. So in Denmark, the Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, they are also trying to focus on carbon neutrality, and they have a goal that they will reach on carbon neutrality by 2025. So they are encouraging public transportation as well as cycling in the road. So we can also take lesson from this country. And also in Malmo, Sweden, they are also trying to do sustainable urban planning, and they also have a goal to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. And so this is like countries who have achieved neutrality, like Bhutan, I already mentioned. And also we can look into the scientific journal as well as some reports from well-known organizations such as WHO, and some project which are implementing in some other countries like India. They are also implementing the sustainable cities, which we can also take lesson from those data that is available in the internet or with and the obstacle of the solution could be like overpopulation. As we know, like most of the developed country are densely populated. So to teach each of the people about sustainability and the renewable energy source and using the being sustainable is very difficult. So this is one obstacle to raise awareness among those people. And then there are some lack of policy implementation. Like whenever we implement any policy, it takes a long time to implement and to get into the action. This is another kind of problem. And there is another thing, the race to bottom, which is like where industries are shipped to countries with more lenient policies. And also the tragedy of commons. So that is means like we all afraid of what would happen if this plan failed or something. So this is one major thing that we afraid to implement any new things or new innovation or new technologies. So the next slide, please. So in conclusion, we conclude in our group that there are so many problems of our environment for today, such as insufficient energy resources, economic growth directly related to emissions, lack of knowledge, and due to high consumption of non-renewable based energy source supported automobiles, low awareness of their choices, impact on environment. So we have conclude 3 parts that Japan to achieve carbon neutrality and help the developing countries such as climate awareness and education. for us, we think it is very important to raise the awareness and or campaigns or educational programs among the high school students, because maybe it will take time, but it is very important to teach them what is sustainability and how can they take the environment friendly action. Then we also come to the second option is sustainable urban planning and transport. So improve carbon neutrality friendly public transportation, for example, promoting like cycling, and also we can promote sustainable cities. And there is the third one, which is circular economy promotion. And we know Japan has a very established a good example for circular economy, and they try to recycle, reuse everything like the product. So in that way, Japan can also assist developing countries in adopting circular economy practices, which aim to minimize waste and maximize resource efficiency by encouraging the reduction, reuse, and recycling of materials. So this is our conclusion, and I would like to thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Anjida, for the comprehensive presentations. Thank you very much for Group 5 that has arranged all of this. I think we can all learn a lot of things from Group 5 presentations, which we will discuss a little bit more in the feedback session. Now we will go to the next group, and I would like to remind again that the presentation sessions has an 8 minutes duration time, so be sure to make it short and simple. Yeah, for the Group 6, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. So just to at the beginning of our discussion, we were thinking about what should be the problem that we were trying to focus on. To begin with, we were looking for the main obstacle to achieve carbon neutrality. And we found some different obstacles, for example, starting with cost and financing of these new solutions and technologies. And why was it so expensive? Because basically of the necessity for improvements in energy storage and update the renewable energy systems, and to increase and the current increase of the need to resources, because people were now just using more resources in order to have a better quality of life. And other problem that we found was that the current government policies and legal frames were not updated and were not and didn't actually use the current methods and technologies that we have into their legal frames. And how do we know this is a problem? Because new technologies are having delays in finding investors, and that's basically one of the main reasons why it's not implemented in all countries and it's not widely used. Because and that also represents a slow transition to renewable energy systems. And we will know that this problem is solved basically when renewable energy sources are profitable enough in the market, so they don't need our new subsidies, and they don't need any sort of external help in order to be competitive compared to traditional sources. And with that, we will find carbon neutrality. The next one, please. So we were looking for data for this the information that I mentioned earlier, and we found, for example, that in some countries, like in the US, actually renewable energy sources are more profitable than fossil fuels. For example, like you can see in the chart, 97% was the return in the investment for fossil fuels, but with renewable power it was 192%. But for some other countries like UK, that's difference. What actually we couldn't see the results because there were no data available, and that also affects most of the reality of developing countries. So we need to have clear information here in order to start designing new policies that are perfect or strategically designed for these developing nations. The next one, please. So what was our solution that what we are proposing now? First of all, we need to expand the current policies that we already have. For example, the carbon pricing, we thought that was a good option and was widely available for other countries. Subsidies in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Also, we need to have to strengthen international energy trade. For example, and that was an example that mentioned in the case of Nepal, that could actually start trading energy with other countries like India, for example. We need to update our legal frame, like I was mentioned earlier, and that was the case for Ukraine and Peru. We need to modernize our energy storage systems and the infrastructure that our energy distributions are currently using, because that would also help to reduce the entry barriers for new investors by modernizing that systems and technology. And another thing that we could also start doing was financing startup projects. How do we know this is a good solution? Basically, because we are strengthening local policies, because we are not also thinking about at the government level, but we are also thinking about with local investors and companies and how we can help them. So we can start reducing these entry barriers, like I was mentioning, by modernizing the system, so the investors don't need to invest more money in those modernizing. And because we can also strengthen the role of citizens by financing these startup projects. The next one, please. Well, with validation, we can start doing our current policies are working, although not at an optimal rate. The new technologies are being developed, and these investments are actually being made in some countries. But we have obviously some obstacles to overcome. The first one being that the investment required it could be also using other priorities. For example, we already know that climate change is making a huge problem in a lot of nations, so that would be a prioritized aspect that some nation could start doing. The difficult to predict how profitable in a market could be because of several factors and the time required to find and develop new technologies. The next one, please. So just to sum up this presentation, we need to find new ways to make renewable energy sources more attractive to investors, and that's basically the big statement that we want to make here. We recognize that it's important to have subsidies, but we also need to start thinking about how we can make these energy resources available and attractive to these investors, so they can start growing in a natural or in an organic way. So in order to do that, we need to start doing some changes and some new policies at the government level, with local companies as well, with energy generators, distributors, and across different economic sectors, with startups, because they also require a minor investment and they reduce potential risk. And with this kind of work with infrastructures and storage. So that's basically the main point that we were trying to make here. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brian, for the presentations. Thank you, Group 6, for all of the ideas that have been proposed and all of the solutions. Now, all of the group has already presented, and we already hear a lot of amazing suggestions, solutions, ideas. And now we will hear feedback sessions from one of our speakers, Mr. Rahul. Time is yours.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you very much for your very interesting presentations. And it is amazing to see a lot of ideas in such a short time by all of you. So great job again. So I'd like to give like a general feedback for the interest of all the groups. So first, I want to highlight one of the small misconception which some of the groups are facing. It is for the term carbon. So we use the terms carbon neutrality, carbon policies, etc. But the actual target that is referring to is carbon dioxide and not carbon directly. So carbon is like, for example, present everywhere globally, and that is not the problem. The actual problem is the carbon dioxide, which is the primary greenhouse gas. But there are other greenhouse gases too, which are also the problem. And another thing is that when we are like looking at trying to increase awareness among people, so the problem is so intense that often like we try to publicize like, okay, let's save energy. So they are definitely going to play some role in reducing the greenhouse gases, but to the global extent which is at the moment now, that is nowhere close to what is sufficient. So the awareness should be in this direction too, and also it should be in a way that people should understand how it is happening at a high level. Like the governments should take action, because considering to the emissions which the industries and they are emitting, are small emissions are very small. So people should be aware of the problem, and like it should be understood that it's coming from a far higher level which is often beyond our control. But it is important to keep that in mind. And also there is this problem of health effects which is often ignored. So even in my presentation yesterday, I told that we are putting CO2 tax to reduce the emissions from the perspective of climate change and global warming. But there is also this consequence on our human health, and this is often not involved in those costs. So if the policies can accurately include how much effect it is having on their people, it can further strengthen the our claim to promote more sustainable policies. And I would like to uh, emphasize on some interesting aspects. So yeah, so as some of you pointed, renewable energy can is definitely will be a profitable source. So the problem now, many are feeling that renewables are high cost and everything, is due to the problem that fossil fuels have already been set up. So the industries have already been established and everything is set up. But renewables are like we are starting from nothing. So it looks like the other one is far easier. But if you see both of them from the same perspective, the fuel for renewables is freely available from the nature. So it definitely, if you see, compare them equally, renewables are obviously very profitable, but the initial investment and getting them at the same level is the main problem. And yeah, so another thing which some of you have emphasized but did not deserve much attention is that we in yesterday's presentation and discussions, we are dealing about the GHG gases emitted in the carbon neutrality and how to reduce it. But the absorber is of these greenhouse gases is considerably the plant cover on the earth, which is all the trees and everything. So they are actually absorbing most of this carbon dioxide. And there are these techniques of carbon sequestration and carbon capture. These just add a little bit to the top of trees, but the actual person who is like absorbing is the trees, and policies should also focus on like how to preserve the existing trees at least, and if possible plant more. So this is something we should never forget, that the absorbing role is mainly taken by the plant cover. And these are some of my observations, but again, thank you very much for your ideas, and I hope you keep continuing to think about what we can do for a sustainable world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahul, for the amazing and comprehensive feedbacks. Yeah, we can take out a lot of points from Mr. Rahul feedback, that raising awareness is a good point, but people should understand the problems, the actual problems of these issues. And then policy is a good solutions because it can strengthen the plan, and also renewable energy. Maybe a lot of groups had suggested solutions about renewable energy, and that is actually a profitable solutions that we can use. And also solutions such as like planting plants and stuff is good, because the gas emissions can be absorbed by natural plants. Okay, so next we will invite Mr. Aoki from GST to also give a feedback. Okay, hello.
Hana-san, can you see me, hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. I'm really sorry. Today, my internet condition not very bad, so but I'm happy to come back finally. And so first of all, thank you so much for the SAI coordinator to hold today's excellent meeting, and especially Mr. Raul Maroju. Thank you so much for your feedback for the low carbon research and policy, etc. So as a feedback, let me remind JST is an agency to promote innovation as an agency of Japanese government. And I, by myself, worked so much with low carbon area research project between Japan and India in the SATREPS program. So my profession is not low carbon, so my profession is development economic policy, but also very important topics is low carbon for the development of your country and in the world. And so let me remind 2 points. Today, I hope everyone participant of today and yesterday's workshop get a new knowledge and through the workshop, and it will be useful for your study and research from next week. And also make new friends. If you can get new friends through this workshop, I will be very happy. Please remind, please discuss with your senior researcher. Please request to them. Please discuss with Japanese partner research, senior researcher, and submit proposal to JST to invite young Indonesian researchers to Japan by Sakura Science Program. Please request your senior boss to discuss with Japanese senior partners to submit proposal to JST, Sakura Science Program, to invite to come visit more young, excellent Indonesian young researchers. And also, so because use this program, please come to Japan, and there is a course of 3 weeks to discuss about joint research between Japan and Indonesia in Japan. And also, it is not easy, but you can apply your team with your senior researcher. You can apply jointly with Japanese researchers to apply SATREPS in the area of low carbon research area. Anyway, I was very surprised the high level of today's workshop, every group discussion. It was very high level. Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Aoki. I agree with you that today's workshop is quite surprising. Every member is really enthusiastic. And even we need to extend the discussion time because everyone's just really enthusiastic in giving their ideas. And also, Mr. Aoki, invite you all to submit a proposal to GST because then through that proposal, maybe you can be invited to SSB program. Okay. Next, as we come to a close, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you who have joined us today. It has been a great experience to meet all of you in this session, and I'm sorry if I made a mistake intentionally or unintentionally. But before we wrap up, I want to remind you that this event will be documented. So everyone, please open up your camera and we will take our last documentation. Maybe Mr. Krishna can help us in documenting.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Farhana. And for every participant, I would like all of you to please turn on your camera and look to your screen for the next couple of seconds. I'm going to start taking the pictures now. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Krishna, for the help. Yeah, now, because we already come to an end, I will welcome our president of SAAI, Mr. Abdul Baitz, to give a closing speech.
Okay, hello everyone. Hope everyone is in a good condition. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and especially the 60 selected fellow Sakura Science alumni from around the world. I extend my warmest greetings to each one of you as we come together to address through our theme of the workshop, Unleashing the Power of Science and Technology, the Road to Carbon Neutrality. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all the participants, speakers, and organizers for making this SDGs workshop event a resounding success. I would like to begin by acknowledging the unwavering dedication and passion of all 60 selected Sakura Science alumni who participated in the FGD session to propose sustainable solutions. Your commitment to the cause of achieving carbon neutrality and your efforts in devising innovative solutions are truly commendable. And it is inspiring to see alumni from diverse backgrounds and experiences uniting to address these global challenges. I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers also, Mr. Rahul Maraju and also Mr. Rahul Yohei Yakyu that yesterday presenting also from JICA, as well as from GST here, Mr. Kazuhika Oki. Thank you very much. Your expertise and also valuable insights have enriched this this session of the workshop, and also your comments on the problem definition and proposed solutions presented by the FGD's team have been invaluable, and we are deeply grateful for your contributions to this event. A special note for appreciation, of course, goes to the organizing team, GST team, main coordinator of SAAI, ad hoc committees, and the SAAI promoters, whose meticulous planning and hard work have made this event possible. And also the dedication and attention to detail have ensured the seamless and enriching experience for all the participants. Let me highlight for the collaborative spirits for this session. So I'm so happy for this workshop, actually. So thank you very much for all related stakeholders and also participants. So the essence of this SDGs workshop lies in the collaborative spirit that binds us together as Sakura Science alumni. Today, we have witnessed how different teams from across the globe have come together to propose ingenious solutions to combat climate change and strive for carbon neutrality. This united effort hopefully reflects the power of science and technology in creating a sustainable future. I'm immensely impressed by the innovative and practical solutions presented during the FGD sessions. Each team has demonstrated a deep understanding of the challenges we face and has proposed actionable steps that can lead us towards a more sustainable world. Your ideas have the potential to make a real difference, and I encourage you to continue pursuing these initiatives beyond this workshop. As we conclude this event, let us remember that the journey to carbon neutrality has just begun. It is crucial that we carry forward the momentum gained during these discussions and put our proposed solutions into action. The road ahead may be challenging, but together, as a global community of Sakura Science alumni, we possess the power to shape a greener, cleaner, and more sustainable future for generations to come. In closing, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all of you for your active participations and unwavering commitment to addressing the global challenge of carbon neutrality. So let us continue to harness the power of science and technology to create a better world. I urge each one of you to stay connected through the Sakura Science Alumni Network, share your knowledge, and collaborate on impactful initiatives. Thank you once again, and I beg it to Ms. Farhan.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Baitz, for your warm farewell. Maybe I would like to announce again that later the documentations that we have took will be sent to you, and so you can share with your colleagues. And don't forget to fill the attendance link in the comment section. The attendance link is very important as a requirement to receive your e-certificates. Once again, thank you everyone for attending this event. We encourage you to share your feedback and suggestions with us. Your input will help us to improve our want to thank again our speakers, Mr. Rahul, and also all of the participants, Mr. Auki, and also partners and organizing committees, and also volunteers that have do their hard work and dedication in making this event a success. And don't forget to check out the online documentations of the event and share it on your social media. Stay safe, healthy, and we look forward to seeing you at our next event. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Hi, we don't see the attendance link. Can someone share it again? The attendance link?
Youths who came to Japan through the Sakura Science Exchange Program organized by the Japan Science and Technology Agency, JST, are all certified as members of the Sakura Science Club, SSC for short. As of 2022, there are more than 30,000 members. SSC activities are conducted voluntarily and autonomously by its members. After the exchange program, alumni events, country-specific events, and communication through social media continue to be held between participating countries and regions. These activities work to strengthen the bond with.
Okay, so I think for the attendance link for your present have already been noted by all of the LOs. So you can leave without filling the attendance link. Thank you very much for your participations.